home. It can be a picture of what your reality is now, or what it was like growing up. Or being with Heavenly Father. Hi, I'm Jimi Hendrix, and this episode is called RP64. Home is where the heart is, on Empower Your Pattern 2.0. I'm Jimi Hendrix, member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and Success, Confidence, and Thrive Coach. I believe there are patterns to help us to receive more, help us to live a better and extraordinary life. I will give you some temporal and spiritual tips how to overcome this life. So if you come with me, I will show you these patterns. Get ready to walk in. Let's go. Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful Sunday morning as I am taping this. It is so good to talk to you guys. I just want you to know how much I appreciate you listening to me and subscribing and everything. Our YouTube channel has become vibrant. We have 48 subscribers. I'd love to see 2 more. But the YouTube channel is Empower Your Pattern with President James, okay? So you know. Because I am President James Hendrix, president of a fledgling company, James Hendrix Empowerment, which is, well, I'm in networking, of course, and I want to branch out to a speaking and coaching business as well. So you guys know, we're getting into the personal development. You figure out what home is. And to do this, how about we go into the scriptures? Because we need to know what home is in the scriptures. Because we have to find out. Well, sometimes that don't work. There we go. Well, closest we got is going to be Guide to the Scriptures. The home should be the center of gospel and family activities. But here's the thing. In Deuteronomy 24 verse 5, and this is an admonition about men when they are first married. You know, they're not supposed to go out to war, but to be at home, cheering up his wife. So you think about it. And if you look at the miracle, he sent him home, but not to tell anybody about the miracle. And then it says in 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 4, let children learn to show piety at home. Alright then, at that point, I guess I might as well talk about my upbringing. You know, because I'm not married, I don't have any children. Considering online dating, but I haven't decided yet. Tried that before, got burned. But I think I'm going to try it with a different approach, maybe. Okay, then. Here is what's up. if you don't mind me saying. We learn this long and hard, and we do this, if you're ready. Okay, so here's what's up. My family moved out here in this neighborhood October 31st, November 1st, 1978. Okay? We moved out here. I remember for a few years across the street from where I live now and where I lived back then is an empty field. And as you all know, it soon developed and everything, and I grew up in a good Baptist family. Mama kept the Bible read, and Daddy kept our family fed. And there were times at dinner, Mama would take a Bible out and teach us out the Bible, or she would talk about certain vices that were to avoid, you know. Like I remember, I was in Christian school. I was 13 years old. I was supposed to be in the 8th grade, but I was held back 3 years. Y'all know the story, you know, the stereotype, mentally challenged. Anyway, we're sitting there one Sunday afternoon and having lunch with the rest of the family. And my mama takes out her Bible. And she turns to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. And then she proceeded to read verse 2. Honor thy father and mother. This is the first commandment with promise. And then she turned to me, and I'll never forget this. As long as I live, she said, James, remember that promise. She said, in fact, I'd like all you kids to honor me and your daddy. We shouldn't have to remind you to do what we ask. Okay, so I grew up. I went to high school. I learned the hard lesson of falling in love, and then relationships ending. And then I went to community college for a few years. But by the time of my second year of community college, home was beginning to be changing rapidly. My brother and his family was living with us, and I finally reached the point where it's like, okay, it's time for me to spread my wings and fly. I still came home on some weekends and holidays, which was a blessing. But Texas Tech became a home base. Okay? So, I eventually went through school, got married, moved to Arlington. When I left in 1994, I swore that except to visit, I was not coming back to home or Odessa, Texas, period. What happens? 1999, my marriage busted. I ended up back in Odessa, living with my friend Jim Bob. I stayed there for 4 years, started getting restless. I thought, well, maybe I should go back to Lubbock, go to graduate school, and try to recapture the dream. Famous last mistake. Do you want to know why? Because the dream wasn't the same. I didn't have the oomph. I didn't have the mojo. I eventually got down. Eventually had to move back. I stayed with a friend named Jim Bob for a while, and then I roomed with my new best buddy. We were running buddies there for a while, and then he got married. And in that marriage, sadly split up for a while. And so we moved to a little town called Plano, Texas. We stayed there for about 2.5 months. And then I told my best friend, I said, look, I'm dying on the vine here in this little town. We can barely afford it. Let's come back. Let's come back. And I did. So I moved across the street from, my mama's house. I stayed with them for a few months. But then they kept saying how they wanted to move to this place and that place. And I was like, I'm tired of doing this. Because I keep on coming back here. And then, boom. The day before Thanksgiving, I moved in a trailer behind my mother's house. I didn't exactly want to move with her, but I moved into a trailer behind her house. I paid her rent, and I paid her some rent. I still do that to this day. And as it turned out, lived there for a few years. And then my best friend moved, from across the street to a little town called Anson, Texas, just outside of Abilene. That didn't work out, so they came to move back into the same old place, which is good. But by 2016, it was like, I still kept the trailer for years, but I refused. I couldn't. It was getting to the point where I didn't really necessarily want to be staying there all the time. I ended up staying with my mother. Okay. So that's what happened. And things were working well, of course, until COVID. But I still have memories of this place. Happy memories. Even though I live in this home, it's actually next door to where I grew up. Okay, so there we go. Guys, here's what's up. Home is where the heart is. You could think of home in the past. If you got a lovely wife and kids, or spouse and kids, hold on to them tight and love them, please. Don't let the pull of the world get to you and your kids and your spouse, please. Whatever you do, because the world, it's getting darker, folks. I'm afraid, and I feel like in many ways that brings a lot of sadness, pain, hopelessness. But if we hold on to our families, that's what matters the most. That's what matters the most. That's what we're called to, right? So I'm hoping that in some ways, some of the wisdom that I have can really help you. Home is where the heart is. It's where your heart says is home. Never forget that. Now, I hope you enjoy listening to Empower Your Pattern 2.0. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the Pattern Realm. Until next time, don't just sit there and take it. Build your dreams so you can take it. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. And do what others won't so you can step up and step out, step up, and step into how what others can. Choose, act, and pursue happiness. And remember this, from the bottom of my heart, Jimmy loves you. I really, 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 really love you. Have a blessed day.